Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered why it is so dark? It seems strange. Think about it. Scientists say the universe is packed with stars. Not millions, not billions, trillions upon trillions. So why isn't the whole sky glowing like one giant flashlight? Why do we mostly see darkness? That simple question confused some of the smartest people on Earth for over 200 years. And finally, scientists found an answer. That answer changed everything we thought we knew about the universe. Because the truth is even more surprising than the question. Right now, you are floating inside a universe filled with more galaxies than anyone imagined. Not a little more, not twice as many, at least 10 times more. Scientists believe that around 90% of all galaxies are completely hidden from us. Hidden, invisible. They are out there, but we cannot see them. So tonight, when you look into the dark sky, remember this. You are not looking at empty space. You are looking at the biggest hiding place in the universe. And once you understand why, you will never see the night sky the same way again. For thousands of years, people believed the stars were everything. The tiny lights above seemed endless. Our ancestors made stories about them. They used them to travel across oceans. They watched them to know when to plant crops. The stars shaped history. Then people built better telescopes. Each new telescope showed more stars than the one before. It felt like the universe just kept growing. But one question refused to go away. If space is filled with stars, why is it dark? It sounds like a simple question, but simple questions are often the hardest. Imagine standing in the middle of a huge forest. Trees stretch in every direction. No matter where you look, a tree blocks your view. Now replace every tree with a star. If the universe goes on forever and stars are everywhere, every direction should end with starlight. The whole sky should shine. Night should not exist. Yet every evening, darkness returns. That puzzle became known as Olbers Paradox. For many years, nobody could solve it. Scientists guessed. Maybe giant clouds of dust blocked the light. It sounded reasonable. Dust blocks sunlight on Earth. Maybe space dust did the same thing. But there was a problem. Dust cannot keep absorbing light forever. Sooner or later it heats up, then it glows. Even if we could not see that glow with our eyes, special telescopes would. The idea failed. The mystery remained. The universe still refused to explain itself. Then everything changed. Not because someone found new stars, but because someone discovered something even bigger. The universe had a beginning. For a long time, people believed the universe had always existed. No beginning, no end, just endless space. However, scientists found evidence that changed that idea forever. Welcome to Cosmic Chronicles. We have noticed that 91% of you that watch this channel frequently do not subscribe. If you've ever enjoyed my video, please could you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button? It helps this channel more than you know, and the bigger the channel gets, the more valuable content you enjoy. The universe is about 13.8 billion years old. That number is almost impossible to imagine, but it tells us something important. Light does not travel instantly. It has a speed, a very fast speed, about 300,000 kilometers every second. Even at that speed, light needs time to travel. When you look at the moon, you see it as it was about 1 second ago. When you look at the sun, you see it as it was about 8 minutes ago. When you look at distant galaxies, you see millions or even billions of years into the past. Looking farther into space is like looking back in time. Space is a time machine, a natural time machine. That changes everything. If the universe has existed for only 13.8 billion years, then light from places farther away has not reached us yet. Those galaxies may exist, but their light is still traveling. It simply has not arrived. Imagine a friend sending you a letter. If the letter is still in the mail, you cannot read it yet. Not because it does not exist, because it has not arrived. The universe works in a similar way. Many galaxies are still sending us their first message. We are just waiting for it to arrive. That explains part of the mystery, but not all of it. Scientists soon found another clue, one even more surprising than the first. The universe is growing. Not growing into something else, growing itself. Space is stretching. Every second, every minute, every day. Imagine drawing dots on a balloon. Now blow up the balloon. The dots move farther apart. The dots are not moving across the balloon. The balloon itself is stretching. The universe behaves much like that balloon. Galaxies move farther apart because space itself expands. This changes the light they send us. As space stretches, the light stretches too. Its color changes. It becomes redder, then even redder. Eventually, it stretches beyond what human eyes can see. The light is still there, but it becomes invisible. Think of hearing an ambulance. As it drives away, the siren sounds lower. The sound waves stretch. Light behaves in a similar way. As galaxies race away from us, their light stretches too. Scientists call this redshift. It is one of the greatest discoveries in astronomy. It tells us the universe is alive. It changes. It grows. It never stands still. But the biggest surprise was still waiting. And when scientists finally found it, they realized they had been counting the universe all wrong. For decades, we thought we knew how many galaxies existed. We were nowhere close. For decades, scientists believed they had a good answer. They thought the observable universe held around 100 to 200 billion galaxies. That number sounded impossible. After all, a billion is already huge. 200 billion felt almost endless. Most people thought the mystery was solved. But science has a funny habit. Just when you think you know the answer, new evidence changes everything. That is exactly what happened. Astronomers decided to take another look. Instead of using just one picture from space, they collected decades of observations. They studied images from the Hubble Space Telescope. They compared old data with new discoveries. Then, they built computer models to estimate what Hubble could not see. The results shocked everyone. The universe was hiding far more galaxies than anyone expected. Not a few more, not even twice as many, at least 10 times more. That meant the observable universe could contain around 2 trillion galaxies. Think about that number for a second. 1 million seconds is about 11 days. 1 billion seconds is nearly 32 years. 1 trillion seconds is more than 31,000 years. That is how massive the number is. And we are talking about 2 trillion galaxies. Each galaxy can contain millions, billions, or even trillions of stars. Our own Milky Way alone holds hundreds of billions of stars. Now imagine trillions of galaxies just like it. The numbers become impossible to picture. But the biggest surprise was still ahead. Scientists realized that most of these galaxies were not missing. They were simply hidden. About 90% are too small, too faint, or too far away for today's telescopes to see clearly. Imagine standing on a beach at sunset. You can see the closest boats. A little farther away, you see only tiny dots. Farther still, the boats disappear. That does not mean they are gone. They are simply beyond your sight. The universe works the same way. Our telescopes are powerful, but they still have limits. Many galaxies are so far away that their light has become incredibly weak. Others are so old and distant that their light has stretched into infrared wavelengths. Human eyes cannot see infrared light. Even many telescopes cannot detect it well. It is like trying to hear a whisper from the other side of the world. The sound exists, you just cannot hear it. That is why space can look empty. It is not empty at all. It is overflowing with galaxies. They are simply hiding in plain sight. This discovery changed another important idea. Scientists once believed that galaxies mostly stayed the same. Now they know galaxies grow. They change. They collide. They merge. Imagine 2 soap bubbles floating through the air. Eventually they touch. Then they become one larger bubble. Galaxies behave in a similar way. Over billions of years, gravity pulls galaxies together. When they meet, they slowly combine into one larger galaxy. These collisions happen over millions of years. No giant explosions, no instant crashes, just a slow cosmic dance. Our own Milky Way has already swallowed smaller galaxies in the past, and it is not finished yet. In about 4 billion years, the Milky Way will begin merging with the nearby Andromeda Galaxy. the night sky will look completely different. The stars themselves will stay incredibly far apart. Most will never collide. But together, the galaxies will slowly become one giant galaxy. That means today's universe actually has fewer galaxies than it did long ago. In the early universe, there were many more small galaxies. Over time, they merged into larger ones. Imagine building a castle from thousands of tiny blocks. At first, you have many small pieces. Later, you have one giant structure. The number of pieces becomes smaller. The structure becomes larger. The universe has been doing this for billions of years. That explains why astronomers believe there were once many more separate galaxies than we see today. Every collision tells part of the universe's story. Every merger writes another chapter. Space is not frozen. It is constantly changing. And every night above our heads, that story continues. But if 90% of galaxies are invisible, how do scientists even know they exist? How can you count something you cannot see? The answer is one of the greatest detective stories in science, and it all depends on reading the faintest clues left behind by light. Scientists do not simply guess. They collect clues. Then they test those clues again and again. The biggest clue in astronomy is light. Almost everything we know about space comes from light. Every star, every galaxy, every cloud of gas, they all send light across the universe. That light carries information. It tells scientists how far away something is. It tells them how fast it moves. It even tells them what it is made of. Light is like a message that has traveled for millions or even billions of years just to reach Earth. The farther we look into space, the farther back in time we see. Some of the galaxies we observe today no longer look the same. Some have grown much larger. Others have merged with neighboring galaxies. Some may not even exist anymore. We are seeing ancient history, not the present. Imagine finding an old family photo. The people in the picture look younger. Some children have become adults. Some houses have changed. The photo shows a moment from the past. The universe works exactly like that. Every telescope is taking pictures from different moments in cosmic history. When scientists compared these ancient snapshots, they noticed something surprising. The young universe looked crowded, very crowded. Tiny galaxies filled almost every corner of space. Most were much smaller than the Milky Way. Many were only beginning their journey. Over billions of years, those small galaxies slowly came together. Gravity pulled them closer. Some passed each other. Many collided. Eventually, they became the giant galaxies we see today. That is why today's universe contains fewer galaxies than it once did. The galaxies did not disappear, they combined. The universe has been doing this for nearly 14 billion years, and it is still happening today. This discovery answered one of astronomy's oldest questions. The night sky is dark for three main reasons. First, the universe has a beginning. It is about 13.8 billion years old. Light from places beyond our observable universe has not reached us yet. Those galaxies may exist, but we cannot see them. Not yet. Second, the universe is expanding. As distant galaxies move away, their light stretches. Eventually, that light shifts into wavelengths our eyes cannot detect. The light is still traveling. We simply cannot see it. Third, and perhaps most amazing of all, most galaxies are too small and too faint for today's telescopes. Thank you for watching. We hope you learned something new.